This is Scott Richmond.
And Arnie Sherman.
You're listening to What Do You Know on Newstalk KGVO, AM 1290 and 98.3 FM. Good morning, Arnie Sherman. How are you?
Well, since the fact that we're now on our 11th week of not seeing the ground here with snow covering Montana, I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I like skiing, so this is okay with me.
This is good for you, but when you have to shovel, 100 yards of this stuff every other day, it's still...
Are you shoveling? I know where you live.
I got one of those little things, but it's you still have to push it around. I didn't go out and get the full-blown 1,500 horsepower.
He's making a phone call, everyone. I know, Arnie.
XL model of
and I make a phone call, too, but we shouldn't. That's elitist East Coast thinking.
But we're in the middle of this long, elongated winter. The groundhog, predicted 6 more weeks of winter.
Right.
And yet, this very weekend, pitchers and catchers report for spring training already.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Both in Florida and Arizona?
Both in Florida and Arizona, they report.
Okay.
So I started trying to, give myself some motivation about that eventually this is all going to clean up. And the topic of our favorite personal sport that we both participate in, golf, came up. Watching it on TV.
Arnie's a good golfer, everybody.
Fair. But watching it on TV and watching these little guys power the ball. I mean, I'm bigger than you, but I was watching this past weekend, and Hideki Matsuyama, who's 5'10",
right,
drove the ball 337 yards on one of the holes in a tournament. I don't know how that's possible. I've been around golf my whole life, and there was no way under any circumstance, even if there was a hurricane behind me,
that you could do that far.
I could hit a ball that far. So we have today on our show, Andy and Nick,
right,
who are the general manager and pro golfer at the Ranch Club here in Missoula. We're going to talk a little bit about what's happening in golf in general. And
sure.
Is it the equipment? Is it the training? Is it a combination? Because when you watch Jordan Spieth or you watch, any of these, young, J.B. Holmes is a good example. He's 34 years old. He's 5'11". He drives the ball on average 313 yards.
It's incredible.
How do those guys do that?
Incredible.
I mean, it's not just the torque, and it's not some juiced up ball.
Right.
It has, but we'll find out what it is. I don't really know why it's working that way. But golf, also interestingly, is kind of on a little bit of a decline in the United States.
Yeah.
Kind of peaked in around 2000. And there were about 29 million people playing. And, of course, that was when Tiger was in his prime and he was the hottest thing in sports. And then it actually went up to, in 2005, to about 30 million golfers in America. That's, that's about 10% at that time.
Yeah.
And now it's dropped all the way down in 2016, to 24 million people. So it's still a sizable number. But there's a tailing off.
Tiger factor.
It could be the Tiger factor. I mean, they've tried to promote a lot of the other younger players, and there are a lot of good golfers out there.
Right.
But is it the cost? Is it the accessibility? A lot of my friends who have played their whole lives and aren't playing much anymore say it's the time that it takes. It's
interesting.
In big markets where there's crowded tee times, it could take you from the time you get up to the time you get home 6 hours easily. To do a round of golf, and with work hours actually increasing rather than decreasing for a lot of working people, it's hard to take 6 hours off.
And think about it, in 2000, you didn't have half the number of distractions that you have today.
I think it's one of the reasons why Topgolf, I don't know if you've ever been to a Topgolf facility in the country, why they're kind of taking off in a lot of the warm weather places.
Is that because they're condensing?
Well, it's sort of like a driving range and a skee ball experience all meshed into one.
Right.
You go there and you essentially rent you come with a group of your friends and they serve beer and wine and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
It has lights. You can do it at night, and there's competitive games. You don't have to be that skilled, and you can do it for an hour or 2 hours. I mean, it's time limited. You don't have to make a commitment to 9 holes or 18 holes.
Right. Whereas back in the day, golf was a 3 or 4 hour thing where you brought business associates. It was a social /business outing, and you had a lot of time with your client or your business partner to talk.
Right, that was the theory. 'Cause
Right.
you're in between holes, or you're partnering
So
up.
what's changing? What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of golf courses. You know, there are 15,000 golf courses in the United States. Even in little old Montana, 1 million people, we have 115 golf courses in the state of Montana. I guess most people wouldn't know that.
That's a lot, actually.
And we're pretty. I was looking recently to try to figure out where we fit in the scheme of things. They have lists for everything, right? The top states for golf, the 50 states rated by passion or whatever. We're actually pretty good for a state our size, and given the fact our golfing season really is April to October, we're about 30th on the list of commitment and excitement and participation in golf. There are a lot of golfers in Montana.
How about what's first, Florida and Arizona?
Yeah, I think last is Alaska, where the golf season is 9 days or whatever. But there's a lot of changes in that game. I think also the cost. There's a lot of competitive pressure to make sure your clubs are up to date and green fees. I played at a course last year with some friends in California. The green fees were $575 to play a round of golf.
Expensive.
I mean, it's expensive. Skiing is another sport, which is expensive because you have to have the equipment. I don't know what you were at Big Sky recently. What's a lift? What's a lift ticket?
$115 ticket.
Right. That's the same as a round of golf.
Yeah, it's just for a family, it's $600.
That's a lot of money to go slide down a hill.
It's a lot of money to go slide down a hill. Well, when we come back, our guests are Andrew Flickema and Nick McKethan from the Ranch Club here in little old Missoula.
Hi.
Brought to you proudly by Don Maddox Glacier Sotheby's International Realty. We'll be back right after this with our guests. And we're back. And we are back with Nick and Andrew. Arnie.
Yeah, Nick and Andrew from the Ranch Club Golf.
Yes.
Academy and golf club and golf the place
dining facility.
It's a fantastic place where you and I are members. My favorite golf course in America because there's no trees. I hate trees. I grew up with trees on the East Coast playing golf, and there's plenty of sand and there's plenty of water, but no trees, and so I'm happy every time I'm out.
A little water.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Nick, you're the GM.
Yes, I am. Yep.
And you're the golf pro, Andy.
Uh-huh.
So what's the difference between what you two guys do there?
Mainly, he's got the master BS effect.
Oh, okay, that's important.
I do a lot of talking.
He's got the power of talk.
Nick hangs out in the office.
And Nick looks at the books and
Behind
yells
the scenes.
And how are things going at the club? Are we increasing membership?
It's been an excellent couple of years of membership growth out there. But how things went this past 3 months, my back hurts a little bit from all the shoveling.
Yeah, it's been a terrible, terrible winter. But that brings up an interesting issue. What do you do at a golf course in the winter to prepare it for how beautiful it looks? When you pop out there at the end of March, beginning of April.
We say a couple prayers. Yeah, it'll be interesting, I think.
Hope the groundhogs are frozen to death.
The golf courses around the valley, I'm sure, have lost some sleep over the last month with all the snow accumulation. Probably still 16, 18 inches accumulated right now.
Wow.
So we'll see how it melts off, hopefully gradual, where we don't have ice coverage on the greens.
When things thaw out, what are the first things that you guys are looking for, like your maintenance and grounds crew? What do they look for? Broken pipes,
Pipes wait.
Sprinkler heads?
Yeah, pipes wait until sprinklers need to come on. So at first it's just sloppy mess and water everywhere. So you're just looking for dry-ish areas so you can get golfers out there, carts out there.
Got it.
Cart path only is usually very common the first couple of weeks.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you guys, come on, you're meteorologists. When are we going to be playing? When is Arnie going to be?
I shoveled the ice rinks this morning, and tomorrow I think I'm going to groom the cross-country ski trails.
Yeah.
Friday we've got a field trip for 4th grade class, snowshoeing. So yeah, one step at a
Perfect
time.
golfing conditions for me. Just think how far the ball can roll.
Maybe you guys can invent a way to play golf in the snow, okay? A Montana first.
Somebody should come up with that already.
Club.
Yeah, you got the indoor hitting
Tuesday,
already.
Thursday, Saturday.
Oh, okay.
It's happening. We have the 4 hitting bays and the 35-foot diameter practice green, chipping green, and we keep it lively.
You can have a beer there too. You can have a cooler.
You could bring a beer. We could find a way to get a beer in there. It's certainly
That's
something
Andrew
to get
speaking.
the itch scratched for sure.
Okay.
It's not something that you can do for 4 or 6 hours straight, but it gets you swinging.
But you guys have had a good winter, though. Let's be clear. The Ranch Club has had a wonderful winter. We were just at the Winter Carnival that they had a couple of weeks ago. How many people did you have?
We had 600 on the books.
Wonderful. So it was more.
With as cold as the weather was.
About 10 degrees max. It was a cold day, but perfect for ice, perfect for sledding.
And we know
cross
Kelly
country
Bigelow
skiing,
did a
everything.
wonderful job in helping coordinate. Shireen, the dancing queen, was out there. You
Yeah.
guys were out there doing your thing. It was wonderful. It was a real open house.
That's not what I go to a golf course for.
I know you don't, but hey, and our sponsor actually was sponsoring their event.
That's
why I'm
right.
trying to work that in there, Arnie.
You probably do better curling than you do golf.
Yeah, I'll probably tell you. It's much easier and less strenuous, and I can probably have the get more distance than I get in the golf.
But he's jonesing, just so you know, he's jonesing. He really wants to talk about golf because he misses it now.
I miss I've been playing since I was 13. I caddied as a kid at Bethpage, State Park. I've done this my whole
Long
life,
Island.
and every year I'm kind of trying to be up on what are the latest things that we need to know. So for the 2017 season, is there something big that's going on? Is there something about the change in clubs or equipment or anything that we need to know about as we try to make it through this winter and get ready to play?
I mean,
No.
Silence.
Technology
Shoot.
changes every year.
Yeah, the equipment thing has gotten so overblown almost to
I
the
know.
point where it's getting a little overblown. But
Right.
I think anytime if you have clubs that are 5, 6, 7 years old, you will maybe find an improvement.
Right.
If you got new clubs in the last 2-3 years, you probably got something that's still going to be good for your swing.
But so how?
Unless you suck, and if it doesn't matter what you
Rich,
I know.
maybe,
I know you're
have
never
a
supposed
chance.
to compare yourself to the guys you watch on Saturday and Sunday on on TV. But I was watching this past weekend, and Hideki Matsuyama, who's not a big guy.
Well, he's bigger than me.
Well, he's 5'10" or 11. He
Yeah.
weighs 100. He drove the ball on one of the holes almost 340 yards. Mm-hmm. There's guys like Justin Thomas who weigh 145 pounds, and their average driving distance is 313 yards. That takes me at least 3 shots to get the ball that far. How are they doing that?
Physical ability, first off, and also stretching. The amount of rotation they can get on their body. You watch Justin Thomas's swing, his toes are literally just on the ground when he hits the ball and makes contact.
Well, and he's a younger guy, but how does a guy like, J.B. Holmes, who's 34 already, in golfing years, that's kind of in the middle age of golfers,
Yep,
right?
yep.
But he's driving average 313 yards.
Absolutely. I think they've gotten so specific with the shaft combinations to the heads, to the equipment, to the testing before they even get in these players' hands that they're able to just maximize every little detail of their personal swing. And they're able to customize it to each individual.
Right. And
Yeah.
probably the thing was you instruct people or talk to people, both of you probably tell them, don't watch these guys and try to do what they do.
A lot
It's
of
not
people,
possible.
And a lot of people say for amateur golfers, you watch LPGA Tour, you'll learn a lot more on how to swing consistently, solid, and still.
I'm
hit it
embarrassed to
straight.
say, even watching the little Asian golfers who are like 5 feet tall and weigh 110 pounds,
Yeah.
they pull out, a 7-iron and they hit it, 160 yards,
It's
right.
repeatable and slow and pace
They're
and
slow.
tempo.
I mean,
Yep.
it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
to do
The
that.
fitness side of the game has transformed in the last 10, 15 years also.
I know nothing.
These
about
guys
that
all,
side of the game.
they've all got trainers, and they're on the weights and stretching a couple hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't happen in the Arnold Palmer, Nicholas.
No, well, those
era.
guys, no. But they still hit the balls pretty good. I
They
mean,
did.
To me, they really stood out as super specimens in a way because they didn't do all that stuff.
Yeah.
They were like Mickey Mantle in baseball.
Yeah.
Ted Williams was the guy with all the science,
Natural ability.
right? And Mick used to, when they asked him, what's your theory of hitting? He said, I just get up to the plate and swing as hard as I can at every pitch.
And see what happens.
And sees what
Yeah.
exactly. So there's a difference, but it has become much more scientific. If you watch somebody like Rory,
Yep.
he's ripped and he does all the workouts. And
He's an athlete.
Yeah,
Athlete,
well, and
yeah.
I mean, he trains
Right.
and is committed to a specific regime
Yeah.
as opposed to 30 or 40 years ago when it was
They just practiced. Hit
They
some
just-
balls,
practice.
ate, drank, hit some balls.
The variation of swing nowadays is very comparable. Where you look 5, 10 years ago, and there was a lot of anomalies out there from different swing.
Is that right?
But it's funny, since Tiger Woods' era, a lot of models looking to match Tiger Woods' mechanics. And now you see a lot of spectacular swings out there. from rookies on the tour.
Right. Of course, Tiger can't match his own mechanics anymore. So,
well, and some of that goes hand in hand with the physical strength and power they're putting on their bodies and working out and not swinging. Think about all the injuries they also get by twisting, torquing, turning. You talk to Arnold Palmer and any of those older guys, did they have that many surgeries, injuries to their knees when they were playing? Like, you don't hear about that. They didn't have in-season back injuries. They didn't have in-season knee replacements.
No, but
they weren't as hard on their body based on, I think they were more, enjoying the golf game and not working so much at it like they are now.
Sure. Well, you can, when you take, for example, like the, Augusta, tournament, and you take a look at play there, and you take a look at the scores from 70 years ago and now. I know the course has changed, but not that much. It's not that much different. Yeah. Amen corner is amen corner. And,
length here and there. But
and
that's
there are guys 40, 50, 60 years ago who had the same scores as guys are playing today, using persimmon clubs as opposed to what they have now. So, I mean, that's all. That's what's so interesting about the game. It's same. That's also what's interesting about watching baseball and, the speed of the pitchers versus hitters and that sort of thing.
Let's ask these guys a quick question. Tell me a little bit about where you came from. Like, how did you start playing golf?
I started playing golf in Manhattan, Montana, near Bozeman. Just outside of Bozeman. My aunt just took me to a golf course when I was 10 or 11. First time, enjoyed it, and kind of just dabbled a little bit, and then started playing junior high golf. Our golf team, we had a parent volunteer to put a junior high golf team together just for us, and there was about 8 or 10 of us. And I got into golf huge right there and played in high school, and then got a job sophomore year of high school and been working in golf ever since. So
really,
just kind of been something that got me away from the dairy farm.
And how do you get
milking cows? How
do you get certified though?
The certification process is pretty simple. Basically, playing ability first. You need to.
Because he's PGA certified. You're PGA certified.
Certain score you just need to shoot as far as your playing ability first, and then you take kind of bookwork tests. It's kind of all on your own.
Got it.
Programs and things like that to educate yourself in the whole business. But while you're working in the business, usually too helps. So you're kind of learning it as you're working, and then you're taking these tests.
Got it.
Too, so.
And Nick, what's your lead into it?
Born and raised in Polson, so not too far from here. Started playing golf at about 5 or 6, competitively at about 7. So lived on the golf course as a kid. Was one of those kids. The parents would drop me off at 7, 8 a.m. in the morning, and I'd pack a lunch. Or I'd scrounge from the guys at the clubhouse and be there till 8, 9 o'clock at night, walking countless 18-hole rounds per day.
Really?
So grew up on the golf course. Family plays a lot of golf. And then at the age of about 13, took my first job as a cart kid in Polson. So I've been in the business ever since.
So putting aside our home base course here, I'm going to ask both of you. What's your favorite course you've ever played on? Everybody has, that's a typical course. What's the favorite course you've played on?
Nick.
Not local, but
anywhere. The best course that you.
I had the pleasure of working at Pebble Beach for 9 years.
Right.
So looking at the golf course caliber in the Pebble Beach area, hard to compare to what we have here.
Yes.
But Spyglass and Spanish Bay, which are part of the Pebble Beach company, were spectacular facilities right on the ocean. So hard to beat that. Spyglass, Spanish Bay, and Pebble Beach, all Pebble Beach owned were unique.
And I showed you my scorecard. I parred the signature hole last summer at Pebble Beach.
At Pebble Beach?
Yes.
Little par 3,
par 3, yeah. Where
any wind?
Well, the caddy basically told me to hit the ball about 90 degrees away from the pin, and I thought he was crazy, but the ball landed I actually landed about 2 feet from the pin and missed the putt. But I got a par.
You had a birdie.
I walk away with a par. Yeah. So, what is your favorite course?
Wait a minute. Can I ask him a question? What did he do at Pebble Beach? What did
I do?
Yes.
Various golf shop duties.
Got it.
Managing one of the properties, caddy master.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, it's a great facility.
What a deal. That's a great gig, though.
But,
that must be wonderful.
It's when I played, it was $575 a round. It's not inexpensive to...
it's business.
It's a business. What's your favorite
How about you,
course?
Andrew?
Yeah, favorite course, I'd probably have to say but it's the Abandoned Dunes courses.
Yes.
But the Pacific Dunes. That's by far visually amazing. But all 4 of those courses are fun, amazingly different golf courses and entertaining. I got
And
to
you
play
really
those
have to
last
love
year.
golf to play there because it's not easy to get to.
Not easy to get to. 13 hours from here, and it was blowing about 30 and sideways, and it was a lot of work, but
I
amazing.
had my golf clubs in my car, and I got there, and it was a torrential rainstorm for the time I was there. And didn't get a chance to play.
Didn't even-
Well, look where it is.
Well, my
Yeah.
list of favorites may change. We have a member field trip to Bandon Dunes in another month.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
those
more month.
courses I didn't play them, but they looked fantastic.
Yeah, and they're all on the top like 10 within the nation
Yeah.
places you can play.
I mean, that's what's so great about golf. When you play baseball, it's on a field that's pretty much has the same
Right.
dimensions, and most of the sports. Every course is different. I played at one called Connemara in Ireland, and I thought I was going to kill this course because the par threes were like 275 yards, except there was 50-mile-an-hour winds, and the fescue was taller than I am.
Yeah.
And so you basically, if you were smart, you just played the course with a 7-iron. If you really, but you couldn't, you can't do that.
Right.
So you didn't do that? You weren't smart.
No.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
I
fun?
lost 3 dozen golf balls.
Did you really?
On that course. That was a killer.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're taking a trip to Bandon Dunes. Arnie, you should go.
I know. I was there. I couldn't play that I was there. And that happens often there
Yeah.
because
The
of,
rain out.
So how many members will you take, Nick?
We have 24 going.
24.
22 members, and you and I.
All right,
So-
24 total.
Yeah, 24 total
Nice.
guys. It's kind of like
6,
herding cats a little bit. They're
Really?
pretty excited and antsy. They had to prepay about a month ago, so they're all
Yeah,
ganged up
the
and
other
ready.
good thing about it, as you pointed out, there are 4 courses.
Yeah, we
get
play
both,
all of them.
one
Par
place.
3 and the putting course. And
Yeah,
I mean,
So you're
you
playing
gotta
at the
really-
end of March?
March 6th.
And is the weather good?
You never know.
You never know.
That's
Today, I looked at the weather today. There, it's 52
They're getting
degrees
hammered
and
by
nailed
snow
with
out
rain. Oh, no snow. They don't get
Not
snow.
in Bandon Dunes, but Portland. No, was
There's-
Portland getting?
Seattle was getting some
Oh,
snow.
okay.
The other one
I don't know
that
about
saw
Portland,
that
maybe.
looked like it was a tough course to play. I didn't play it, but I was a chance to drive by and look at most of it. Was Chambers Bay in
Yeah.
Tacoma, where they just played the
Oh,
the
yeah.
tournament. That looks like
Yeah.
a very, very tough course to play.
Andrew, haven't you made some bogeys out there before?
Oh, at least one. Yeah, I got to play it a couple times. My in-laws live in
Is
that
it as
area.
tough as it looks?
It definitely can be if you don't know where you're going. It's kind of different style of golf because
Yeah.
you can get the ball rolling on the ground more, whereas you get up in this area and its ball can fly high and land soft anywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas next to the coast, you definitely have some roll, so it's a different game.
So have we had at the Ranch Club here any pros that have come out and played that course? And
Not that I'm aware of as far as tour type guys. Our teaching instructor played on the tour
Right.
years ago. That was an Asian tour that he played on. But as far as current tour players, I don't think Missoula's the exact hot spot for them
no,
in the summer.
I know that.
They're busy
They come here
doing
to get off
elsewhere.
the
Although I do know down at down the stock farm they've had a few.
Yeah, I would
I've
imagine
seen the sports
Schmoozing.
sheets and those
schmooze in
guys.
there. Or Rock Creek area too, maybe. You get
Yeah.
some guys over there.
We were talking earlier a little bit about like Top Golf.
Yeah.
As its trajectory of interest has risen for a lot of reasons. One of which we didn't talk about was the fact that golf does take a long time, and in big cities in particular,
Yep.
from the time you leave your house to the time you get home could be 6-7 hours in many
Absolutely.
places.
Yeah.
While something like Top Golf, which is really not golf, it's more like skee ball mixed with
Food and drinks.
yeah, food, drinks. But it's gaining popularity because you have a golf experience,
Yeah.
and you're somebody who's very experienced doesn't have much, if any, competitive advantage over a rookie or an amateur or somebody who's never even touched a club before.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going like gangbusters. I was down in Scottsdale, and there was like a 2-hour wait to
Really?
get,
Just
to
to
get a
get
bay on a Friday afternoon at 4:00. There was a 2-hour wait to get
Wow.
a bay.
How many
play.
people does a bay accommodate?
Well, your group your group gets a bay, but they had like 60 bays. I mean, like over 200 people could be using it at one time.
Is that
And
right?
multiple levels.
Is it
of-
two
Multiple
levels?
levels
Yeah,
and,
three
you know,
levels.
And they have pool tables and stuff to use while you're waiting to.
It's a good way
It's
to
like
use.
a sports bar with this outdoor, interesting facility, and they're opening up all over the world. Actually,
Yeah,
Well, look-
major cities though. I mean, your Vegas,
Right.
and Salt Lake, I think is the closest one to us. Maybe Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City.
Yeah. I don't know if
probably
there's.
the
I don't think
closest.
Seattle, or Portland has one. But
No, not
No.
yet.
Vegas, and I think it's all lit up too. In the driving range,
Yeah, it's
all
all
lit
night.
up.
all
and-
night. They go to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock
Yeah.
in the morning. I mean, I
Yeah.
would think that would be helpful to get people interested in golf
Right.
from people that haven't played before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It gives you a little bit of experience and makes it less daunting for somebody who hasn't ever played it before. Because some of the targets that you hit to are very, very close. I mean, a 4-year-old with a club could get points, by participating along with someone like me who misses those targets.
Yeah, I think something with beginner golf, it's hard to get them to enjoy it when that hole is 400 yards away.
Right.
And they need to take 12 shots just to get on the green.
Yeah,
a lot
of people get frustrated in that.
If you're able to give them some sort of target or even scoring system that allows them to not only hit just one shot and have,
And that brings
success.
up the point about why lessons and getting help early on is really important.
Sure.
Unlike me, who, I parred the first hole I ever played when I was 13 years old, and
You had it figured out from there, didn't you?
the next hole I parred, I was 27 years old.
It took that long? Well, let me ask you a question. Arnie was throwing out some statistics before around, at the height of golf's popularity.
In the U.S., there's about 30 million.
Yeah, 30 million people are playing, so maybe it's dwindled down to 24 million. Is there is it the Tiger factor? Is it I know you guys are doing a lot with youth and trying to get youth involved, so that's not about recruitment. Like, what is it?
Yeah, I think there was a miss in recruitment, though, from when I was golfing. It was the Tiger effect, and that was when I first started.
Right.
And it was the cool kind of thing to do. But
Right.
since I've gotten into the business even, I kind of felt like a lot of courses were just going after the money, just going after the people with the incomes,
Sure.
the upper echelon groups and the $1 million type homes around golf courses and building exquisite clubhouses and all this stuff.
Right.
Whereas they're not really growing from the bottom. Whereas now they're all learning. They're going backwards and saying, well, now we need junior golf. So there is more. PGA Junior League is a new thing that the PGA just started 3 or 4 years ago.
Well, as you know,
And
in its infancy, golf was for the moneyed.
Yeah.
I mean, in Alexandria, Virginia, there's a Bellhaven Golf Club. It doesn't have a course that's particularly in the top 100 or whatever, and it's $80,000 to join.
So
I mean, how many?
for businesses done?
Yeah, I mean, but and that doesn't include monthly fees. I mean, that's not one of the most prestigious courses around. I don't know what they're charging out in California these days, but it's in some places. I'm sure it's over $250,000 to be a member of a course.
Let's get back to that point. Let's do a quick ID.
Sure.
You're listening to What Do You Know on KGVO. Our sponsor is Don Maddox Glacier Sotheby's International Realty. We have Andrew and Nick as our guests from the Ranch Club.
And that's why courses like Ranch Club and Larchmont or back east where I was, Bethpage State Park, which is tournament caliber golf, but it's a public course.
Yeah.
You can go out there and play during the week for $20.
Yeah.
You can play a round of golf there.
With the difficulty of that course, how many average golfers go and want to play that
Well,
course?
I'll tell you the story about Bethpage. There's 5 courses there.
Yeah.
Right? There's yellow, red. Well, actually, in terms of complexity and difficulty, there's yellow, green, blue, red, and black.
Sounds like a ski hill, man.
Yeah, exactly. And they're priced differently.
Yeah.
And when I first caddied, and you were assigned the black, which was the worst course. They took the youngest guys got the worst course because you wouldn't get tips. The golfers got so angry,
frustrated.
Frustrated, and it was early last century. I used to get $3 for a single and $5 for carrying a double on the black course.
You're aging yourself.
Yeah.
I am.
1930 or 40?
Yeah, it was before World War. We entered the war and golf stuff. But I'll just tell you one funny Long Island, New York story.
Golf
I hadn't been back golf story. I hadn't been back there since I was 13 years old. I had not been back on the golf course, and I was there last summer. And they were getting ready for the big tournament that they, the national tournament there, and the place looked fabulous. And I walked into the pro shop, and there was a long sleeve shirt that said Bethpage, 1936 or something on it. And I got the shirt. There was an older gentleman sitting at the cash register, and I said, I haven't been back here since I was 13 years old, and I'm back here, and this place is fantastic, and it just brings back such great memories. And the guy said, "That's nice, $28." Could care less.
Exactly.
He's heard that line before,
Right.
Arnie.
And I was watching it, because that's one of the famed courses where people sleep in the parking lot,
Yeah.
and you, first come, first serve, and But I noticed how a lot of the staff that were working there were off to the side getting early tips from some of the golfers who they then slid into threesomes and foursomes and moved them on the course. And I noticed that the $20 bills seemed to be the currency that would allow you to pay $20 to play that day. It's really the whole entire.
It used to be a Finsky, you know. It used to be a Finsky.
It used to be a Finsky. It's 20 now.
I have no idea what a Finsky
$5.
is. Oh.
A $5. You couldn't go to. Remember, you used to go to Shea Stadium. You used to buy nosebleed seats. You give the guy a Finsky. You were down in the field.
I couldn't feel more out of this being a Montana kid.
Yeah, right.
I have no idea what they're talking about.
You don't worry.
Any of these things.
You can't tell you're going to Ogren Field.
There was a whole cottage industry of taking care of people to
get into Finsky.
That have been waiting all morning and don't look like they're going to have a chance to play. And there's a way to make that happen.
Yeah,
that was kind of an interesting, deja vu and go, rekindling my childhood experience.
Well, what do you do for guys like Arnie that want to play golf on a regular basis? Like, don't you have a men's league over at the Ranch Club? And when does that all start?
Yeah, men's league, we kind of aim for middle of May.
Right.
We kind of keep it safe. Being members, it's a member-only men's league, and then they can have guests that come out. But we kind of like to keep the weather at bay as long as possible and hoping that it's at least decent.
But it goes all the way through until...
Yeah, we run it through from middle of May through the end of August, and then we do kind of a 4-week just post-season kind of event too in September. So
excellent.
Yeah, we keep it pretty active as long as people are interested, and they enjoy it. They love it.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. How about a women's league? You have a women's league
women's
too?
league on Monday nights. Very casual, low key.
That's where you ought to be playing.
Oh,
hey.
No, he might fit better into the Wednesday Junior League.
Yeah, Wednesday Junior League.
I am the object of more golf jokes, and I'm okay with it. When I see him, when I walk in to go play, he goes, "What are you doing, Richmond?"
Yeah, what do you want?
What do you want?
Usually you're coming for something.
What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want?
I was like, I'd like to have a beer, and maybe golf will happen in somewhere.
Golf? What?
Exactly.
You know where the golf course is?
My son is the only one. My 2 boys, my 3 boys, okay? They're the kids they'll uphold the Richmond name as it relates to golf. Maybe.
And what name is that actually?
Jake Lewis, the
name,
lacrosse player, he could drive the ball a ton, but he doesn't like to play, and he has 0 form, okay? William, little Willie, he wants to learn. I think you got to have him do some work this summer.
Absolutely.
And Jacob will work for you guys. That's the Richmond name.
Yeah,
right.
They're workers.
They're workers.
As long as that name isn't in the post office, we're all okay.
God bless.
So let me just, for our listeners who haven't been out to the Ranch Club, it's got fantastic swimming, facilities, 3 pools and a hot tub. There's a great restaurant. You now have the new indoor practice facility that I think you share with the Lady Grizz Golf.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Partnered with University of Montana. It's the second winter that we've been open in that space. Very nice to have year-round access to the game of golf.
And are there new additions or things that are coming that we should look forward to in this year or next year that's going to enhance the experience out there?
We've got some new membership classifications that we're working on. A new junior membership that targets a 30 to 34-year-old family at a discounted price point for dues. So that's exciting. We'll be launching that here in the next month.
Well, that's good. That's all really, really good.
Keep the growth going that way. I'm also trying to partner with the University of Montana. They have a TrackMan system, launch monitor system that helps in club fitting and kind of dialing in your golf game a little bit. So we're looking at trying to get that instituted where our members and we can utilize that with them and use that during the summer.
And how many members do we have now?
I think we're
about 350 memberships.
And what would be as a member, I have a different objective than you. My objective is to
lower numbers
and more playing time. But I understand the economics of the business. So what's the number that makes everyone happy?
We think 400 is the sweet spot for us.
So you're pretty close. I mean,
at that point, we either cap membership, implement a high initiation fee for new enrollment,
right?
But look at the availability of space for the tee times and pool availability, and as well as financial breakdown to make sure it makes sense to cap it at 400.
Sure. So as you're watching, the Pro Tour and the FedEx Cup standings heat up, each of you have a favorite golfer that you like to watch. Is there somebody out there that really, when he's on, you make sure you watch and follow him a bit? Nick, is there somebody?
I got a pull for Mickelson. I've been a Mickelson fan a long time.
Yeah,
had quite a few encounters with him in Pebble Beach when I worked there. Love him as a character and love to watch his expertise on the golf course. Exciting player to follow.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I kind of pull on the Ricky Fowler side a little bit. I
Ricky.
think, seeing what he can do in his age and also the way he interacts with fans, I think he was one of the first kind of younger gun guys to be, crowd
I like
activated.
Ricky. I like the fact when they started dissing him a little bit, he upped and stepped up his game a bit.
Oh, yeah. I like
now he's back in the mix of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, personality-wise, looks like he's got a good one on him.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So we cannot have this show on golf and not talk about Tiger, right?
Yeah.
The 2,000-pound gorilla. He had to pull out of this last tournament, right?
Back
Back
spasms.
spasms,
Yeah,
they say.
not an injury, but
Not
a
an
spasm.
injury. What do you guys are around the business your whole life. What is a guy who's his age? Certainly he could be a very competitive, Sunday golf. You go out there and par, almost anything. But in terms of competing on the tour, do you think he's done? Do you think he's never going to regain?
They're not
his
going to step
form?
out.
No, really. You watch him all the time. Everybody watches him.
So he played at Torrey Pines with
Right.
was it Dustin Johnson and Jason Day in his group, right?
Right.
And he was significantly behind their drives every hole,
Right.
with if not 40 or 50 yards behind both of them.
Right, and he used
that
to
right?
be the
Yeah, I mean,
longest driver.
and he was leading, the pack as far as driving goes. So you look at that right off the bat. So they're already hitting longer irons. Tiger's already hitting longer irons into every hole, so he's behind the 8-ball every time. So to me, I think he's kind of created his own monster with all the people that are fitness oriented, strong, young, powerful.
he created
Right.
his own competition.
Yep.
And now he can't
But it's good for
compete
the
with
game.
any longer.
But you look at the consistency of winners and how many different winners you get now, and that's because the cream is so thick at the top in a way,
Sure.
versus where it was before. It wasn't that many strong golfers in the top of the field.
How does that translate to recruitment, though? That's the question. How does it translate to recruitment?
Is recruitment is just average golfers, amateur golfers?
Like anyone. To
Yeah.
Arnie's point, like the Tiger factor, you had 30 million at one point. You're now down to around 24, 25 million. Boy, it's a great game
Yeah.
for those people that can spare the time and have the expense. But the point of entry is not as bad. There are several points of entry to be able to play at a public course
Yep.
or whatever. But how do you get more people?
I think a lot of it is designers need to help courses out. Course
good point.
designers. There's also, like Jack Nicklaus has created some 12-hole courses, and he's routed them in ways where every 3 holes comes back to the clubhouse.
That's
So you're able to
interesting.
play 3 holes.
That is
You're able to play
interesting.
6 holes. You're able to play 9 holes or 12 holes.
There have been many times.
So-
when
Good for
I've said,
F&B.
It was only 15 holes.
There you
around
go.
the golf.
Good for food and beverage.
Right?
Biggest factor with the stagnant growth in the game is time.
Yes, that's what I agree.
Arnie was saying
Families-
that before.
Families are stretched deeper into basketball, volleyball, AAU, year-round baseball.
Yeah.
And the time is not there.
And
Or
even-
then you
even-
look at a 5, 6, 7 hour round of golf, and it's not realistic for your average
Sure.
family.
Kids are singularly focused on one sport. If
Yes,
a kid starts
yes.
in baseball at age 10 and mom and dad think he's going to be a great baseball player, they don't let him do anything else.
Right.
Whereas I played basketball, I played golf, I ran track. I wasn't good at many of them, but
But you
did
did
that.
all.
but you
Right.
entertain those things. And I think, a lot of schools are missing that, or maybe parents more than anything. But then AAU comes into it where they feel like they have to be competitive and have to keep going into the basketball for
Right,
the whole
right.
summer.
Right.
Volleyball all
I do
summer.
see more and more families where the kids that are athletes are doing multiple sports.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and they're not focusing just on golf.
I read an article on college coaches like Krzyzewski and who's the Syracuse coach?
Boeheim.
They will ask their players, their recruits, what sports do you play? And if they only say basketball, they notch them down a little bit in their
Right.
project just
Is that
based
right?
on
Yeah.
just based on their athletic ability. Yeah, you're great at basketball, but there's other things that can teach
Sure.
you other things in sports.
Let me
So
go- Nick, you were
Yeah.
quiet on
Well-rounded.
Ti- You were quiet on Tiger. What's your thoughts?
I think fitness has been what brought Tiger to the top, but unfortunately is bringing him to the bottom.
Yep.
He is a guy that has worked probably harder than anybody in history of the tour
Right.
with the fitness side, and his body is broke down.
Yeah, that's what I think.
If I had to make a prediction, I would say, maybe he would win a tournament, maybe 2, but he's not going to be dominant ever like
No.
he was.
No. I mean, no matter what you say, golf it becomes much more of a, leisure time activity the closer you get to 50. There is a senior tour. He probably could dominate the senior tour, right? But but he's not going to be. I agree with this. He's not going to be what he was. No. You're not going to see him winning, the Masters.
It's like Iron Mike Tyson. It all went downhill after he lost to Buster Douglas.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of examples, but I think he was tremendous for the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And it's happened in a lot of sports. Look at Wayne Gretzky in hockey is like another example.
Yeah.
But now there are a lot of people you can root for.
Yeah.
I mean, the cream. You just said that. I mean, you got. You got all of the guys from Rory to
right.
To
Jason Day,
Spieth,
Dustin Johnson.
right. I mean, you got a lot of them that can win on any given Sunday.
Yeah.
Any one of those guys can be on. And the game to me actually is much more interesting to watch.
Right.
Rather than waiting to see if Tiger is going to falter and not win.
Yeah.
You wonder who's going to pick it up at the very end. I mean, the last week's tournament is a good example. Nicholas was not Nicholas, but hates me. But Phil Mickelson was in it to the last few holes.
Was he
was
really?
a couple strokes back and messed up on
the back nine. He basically bogeyed like 4 or 5 holes.
Yeah,
didn't he? But he was 4 under after
I
9.
The TV,
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah,
13
Mickelson
or
was right in there
and
again.
2 out of the lead, and and there were like 6 or 7 guys who could have won that tournament very easily.
Yep.
So that's very. That's fair. My guy that I like watching is Jason Day. I just like his style of golf, and I like his personal story.
Yep.
And
right.
And he's he to me is a good poster person for international global.
Yeah,
golf.
absolutely.
Which is good, and I think the media has really made a very big commitment to golf. There's no, you didn't have a golf channel 20 years ago, right? You didn't have a lot of things that were committed to the sport, and so now you have that.
And I think that was directly related to Tiger, the Golf Channel, to me.
Right,
but
it was.
It's still being able to get carried on based on the amount of guys that they can continually talk about that are great players, that are good guys, that are,
And
baby boomers.
I alluded to this a little bit, but it also is, gaining strength and popularity outside of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there have always been Asian golfers, but when I've been in Asia in the last few years, and there's just a tremendous interest and commitment, male and female, to the game of golf, and even in other places around the world, even in Russia. I got a good trivia question for you that I don't expect you to know the answer to, but I'm going to ask.
Is the answer Russia?
No. The question is, the first golf course in Russia opened about 25 years ago. Who was the first guy on the first hole to drive the first ball on a golf course in Russia?
Donald Trump.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
They brought him over. He hit the first ball on the first tee in the first round of golf ever played in the Soviet Union. And now there are a lot of golfers.
Isn't he from? Isn't he Scotland?
Yeah, they brought him in.
They brought him in, flew him in.
Yeah.
Just to hit
Donald
a tee
Trump
shot.
isn't Russian either, at least.
Yeah.
You said it.
You could have a Russian grandfather. But,
This could not air because of what you just said.
No, but I mean, all over. I was somewhere in the Middle East, and they were playing golf on sand, and they had a piece of turf that they would put down and hit the ball in the sand, and move the turf.
Bring it along with you.
The piece of carpet along.
You always got a good lie.
Target golf.
You always had a good lie. Excellent lie.
Excellent lie. Wow.
All right, let's take a quick break. Our guests are Andrew and Nick from the Ranch Club. You're listening to What Do You Know on Newstalk KGVO. Proudly supported and sponsored by Don Maddox Glacier Sotheby's International Realty. We'll be back after these words. And we are back with our final segment.
So, Nick, you were talking about the sweet spot. We're getting pretty close. So how do people find out what the memberships are and how to get a hold of you and how to sign up as they're going to return from cabin fever and want to be out there on the links?
Andrew and I are available Tuesday through Saturday typically. So calling us at 532-1000, which is the main Ranch Club line, is a good way to get in touch with us and inquire about memberships or special events and whatnot.
And you can rent the facilities, and I know because we have before for parties and all kinds of, personal special events. What kind of other activity or organized events are going to be happening out there that our listeners ought to know about?
This Friday is a prime rib night. That's going to be exciting. It's always a hot seller.
This is airing on Sunday, though. So next Friday.
Yeah, you missed it.
Boo hiss.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we'll go, Arnie.
Yeah, that might be a good thing to do on Friday.
We're finalizing dates for June Nike University of Montana Golf Camp.
Oh, that'll be a good.
be a
Is that
fun
the
one to
first
watch.
one? Have you done a golf camp
The
before?
second year doing that.
And how-
The high
and
school
what is it?
kids down to what did we have last year? 8-year-old, 9-year-old kids. Kind of a youth junior camp. Nike sponsors that. And
Maybe the radio station can
high
get involved in sponsoring this.
We get involved with these guys all the time.
Oh, that's
they're
good.
involved.
That's
Yeah.
good. We want to keep that going.
So we're planning on having about 40 to 50 kids sign up for that. So that's something that is open up to the public and can be signed up. I don't know if Nike.com has that yet.
Yeah,
but
it
it'll
should be
be
in the next week.
Good.
posted
But,
through the
uh,
University of Montana, too.
Keep a close eye for us on Facebook is the best spot to watch for special events and programs and promotions.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
What's the what is it? Is it the Ranch Club on Facebook? Just
Yep.
It's Ranch Club Missoula.
Ranch Club.
That's
Missoula.
always good. And if somebody wants to just come out and play, you can come out and not be a member and
Yeah.
play around to figure out whether this is something you want to do.
Absolutely, yeah. Semi-private clubs, you're certainly welcome to come out. And if there's any interest in membership, tours are easily accessible. We can take you around the facility and then even play in the golf course as a member for a day program, we call it. So you can certainly come out once the golf course is open,
Beautiful.
test it out a little bit and see how poorly you shoot, Scott.
Here we go. What other your boss is going to kill you if you don't mention this. What other amenities do you have out there at the Ranch Club?
Restaurant is spectacular. Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights.
Good.
And in the summer, you open all.
Yeah, come about April, May, when the golf course opens up. Could be June or July this year, but no, just kidding. Hopefully on that. But yeah, we'll be open back to 7 days and nights. Should be around middle of April.
Okay,
Good.
good.
And that
That's
is public
great.
accessible, great food, good service, killer views.
Absolutely.
Yes, fantastic.
Probably
views.
the best place to eat local outdoors.
And from a real
Back
estate
outside.
perspective, there a lot of new houses are
Right.
being
and let's not
built out
forget
there.
the health club facility there. It's
Yes.
terrific.
Have you ever
I've
been
looked,
in there?
I've looked in the window. It looks like there's a lot of people sweating and doing
Yeah.
stuff in there.
Wonder what they're doing.
I
in
have-
there.
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
To go. It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, fitness facility certainly gets a lot of use, especially with the snow on the ground.
And do we have a personal fitness instructor? That,
Yeah, there's somebody that we can hook you up with to get you set up and their personal.
Because I know, Scott, you and I both talked about having, a personal physical.
Masseuse, I was talking
No,
about.
Oh, masseuse, yeah,
No.
trainer.
I'm
They're
talking about a
same thing,
personal
aren't they?
trainer.
PT.
Same thing.
Personal trainer.
Yeah.
But quick question: any improvements being made around the property? Things that you guys have done in the off season / preparing to do?
Shoot, on the off season we've been shoveling snow.
No, I know
We
that.
wait for improvements to come once the golf course is ready and open. And as far as major changes, though, golf course is going to be the
Golf
same.
course
Just keep
good,
it.
Which is
Clubhouse
good
good.
because I like
Clubhouse.
the course and I want it to
Yeah.
be this way.
But they got
Oh.
new carts last year. Okay,
We
That-
did
I like
get
the new
carts
carts.
last
New
year.
carts, and this year, full new fleet of maintenance equipment.
excellent.
good.
Which is
Yeah.
exciting for the agronomy side of the project.
Mhm.
Which is important because you want the course to be the way
The behind the
playable
scene
and
guys.
right.
It'll make all your putts go in.
So my I save for last my favorite interaction with the Ranch Club, which is the updates and the memos about blowing up the groundhogs. What is the groundhog situation out there? What should we expect for this coming season?
We're going to bring like 45 Osprey out there and just have them go to town. I don't know.
Yeah.
What else can you do?
Well, the groundhogs are going to have snorkel
voles-
equipment.
Voles
The
are
bulls, the groundhogs, nightmare. But yeah, we do put forth effort. Usually it's a Tuesday. We call it gopher bombing day.
yeah, that's my favorite day. I look forward to reading about that. It's like the Normandy invasion every Tuesday,
Yeah.
trying to get these guys.
Caddyshack.
It's like
A lot of
totally
booms.
Caddyshack.
A lot of booms in the background.
A lot of the
there's
booms
just
going
no
on.
fire coming out of the holes. It's just puff of smoke.
And
We're
that's the
waiting.
target.
Yeah.
That's primarily for the ground squirrels.
Yes.
The voles, we hope the bird population, fox, coyotes, help us with that side of the.
I remember a few years back, and you show up in the morning, and you're on the back nine, and you have more observers watching you than on the PGA Tour.
Yeah,
They're just popping out of the
Stop,
ground,
bro,
looking all around at you.
What are you doing on my course?
That's right,
Basically what they're
exactly.
asking. Or why are you up on this hill way off of the golf
But
course?
we do have a lot of other good wildlife for people. There are foxes you see all the time on
Beautiful.
the course. It's a fantastic course, and these guys are the best to work with. I'm glad that they've been able to figure out a way to pay them enough to keep them around
I agree.
for all this time.
Somehow, yeah.
Somehow, Andrew and Nick are still around. Thank you guys for being on the show.
You guys are great guests. Well,
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arnie. I will see you next.
See you
week.
next week. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to What Do You Know?
I can't wait for the next show, Scott.
I'm excited too, Arnie. If you'd like to suggest a guest, send me an email at scottrichmond@townsquaremedia.com We'll see you next week. And thanks for listening to Newstalk KGVO.